Thanks, Colin. Well, obviously, Friday night was not the result we were hoping for. I thought we did a lot of good things, but when you're playing the best team in the league, who's won 35 straight conference games, you got to do a lot of really good things, and you got to minimize the mistakes. And I think for those of you that saw the game or you looked at the box score, you saw that the 19 turnovers is just too many against a team like Drake, and they capitalized on those. I think they had 20 points off of turnovers. I thought the crowd was great. I thought it was a great environment. As a coaching staff, we were really pleased to compare our effort at Drake versus the first time in January. I thought that our kids really responded physically. They showed up expecting to win, and you got to give Drake credit. They just find a way. I thought in the fourth quarter, back road hit some huge shots for them. Nicole Miller came in and hit some big shots. So unfortunately, could not get the job done. You always hate to lose home games. I thought Megan and Rose were terrific. I think both double-doubles. But now we got the weekend off, which is a rarity. We get 2 weekends off with those Friday games. So our kids, I know a lot of them got to go home. They got to get mentally and physically rested up, which is good because we got a tough 4-game stretch with the teams that we got coming up. But it starts this weekend. It starts Friday night with Illinois State, who has won 5 of 6, and their coaching staff first year is just doing a terrific job. That'll be a great challenge. They're a great defensive team. We were fortunate to play one of our best second halves of the year and won there about a month ago. So that'll be a tough challenge. Hannah Green's a senior there. She's a terrific player, and they know how to play some team defense. If you look at their statistics, they're gonna. It's probably not going to be as high scoring a game as the Drake game, but our kids will get a good week of practice and then get refocused. We're sitting there in third right now. I think, obviously, we're not going to be able to climb to first or second, so try and hold on to that third spot for the conference tournament and just win as many games down the stretch as we can. And then Sunday, being senior day with Kennedy, certainly, always sad to see him leave, but really excited for her and the year that she's had, and really had some big games for us and done a nice job. We've only had her 2 years, but she's really adjusted well, and hopefully we can, like Jake said, for their seniors, we can get a good crowd and send her off on a good note. But Bradley is another tough team. They play great defense. They're very deep. They got a great post game. They've struggled a little bit lately versus compared to Illinois State, but they got a lot of talent. And both of those teams are fighting, anywhere from 5th, 6th, and 7th, trying to make sure they get that bye for the conference tournament. So we got a lot of work ahead of us, but we're excited about it. Hopefully, the girls enjoyed that weekend off, and we'll get ready for Illinois State on Friday. Are there any questions?
With Illinois State, is there something that's clicked with them lately? You said they've won 5 out of 6 since the last time you played them.
Well, I mean, a few of those have been at home, but they also won at Southern Illinois, which is a place we could not win at. They just play great defense. They held Southern to 36 points at home, which is unheard of. They're really well coached. They play hard. They only play about 6 kids, so we're going to have to try and make it an up-and-down game, try and wear them down, which we kind of did last time. But, they got a good inside game with Green and Goods, and, their guards, believe it or not, if you look at the stats, their 3 guards will play 40 minutes each, several games. So we got to try and utilize our depth and kind of wear them out. But we're going to have to be efficient on offense, and then we're going to have to be able to defensive rebound when we get stops and try and mix up defenses like we did last time.
Going back to Kennedy, just how impressed you've been with what she's been asked to do this year as a senior with her role in the rotation, especially even though she is a senior, it's just her second year with the program.
Oh, it's been very impressive. As coaches, you're wanting more, so you'd like to see her be a little more consistent. I think she'd be the first to tell you that 7 turnovers against Drake was too many, but she got us started with those 3-pointers in the first half. And you look back at that Kansas State game when I think she had 26 points and led us to victory. And she's had numerous games this year, scoring-wise, has been very important for us. And she's really developed over the 2 years of understanding how we play. It's hard when you come from a different system. And I think she's adapted really well, and we're going to miss her, but thankfully we have her for these last 4 games in the conference tournament.
Especially because we're usually talking with Tanya in situations like this. For your estimation, working with this team from where you started the season at to where you're at now, with a couple weeks left in the regular season, just what have you thought about this young team and the kind of gains that they've made over the course of the year?
I think we're really pleased. I mean, if you really look at how everything has played itself out, there's a few conference games that we look back and we're like, I wish we could have pulled those off, and I think we'd be right up there with Missouri State fighting for the 2 seed. But, there's also a few that we won late. Chris, that you've been there as well. Obviously with the Iowa State and Kansas State victories in the non-conference, there's still a few games that we lost that I think back on that are hard to get over, but you got to move on. But I really like the development of this team. Obviously, we're excited about the future, but we're really excited about finishing this season off. Like Jake alluded to, the men going down to St. Louis, we feel we have a team that can go down, to the Quad Cities and compete for a championship. But what we have to do in the next 4 games is position ourselves, and we got to continue to get better and, be playing our best basketball come early March. But, with Carly and Nicole really emerging as freshmen and what Rose is doing as a sophomore and Megan, obviously, and knowing what our junior class is, we're really excited about the future.
On Friday, over half of your shots came from beyond the 3. Was that by design? Was that what they were giving you? Or?
It's really about what Drake gives you. That they play that very unorthodox zone, Gary, and we were actually pleased. The first time we played them, we did not get enough 2s, and that was something we stressed all week. And I thought we did a great job. I thought Megan played as good a game as she has all year. We'd like to have a couple more, and certainly to lose by 5 and Ellie go 1 for 9, I would have said there's no chance. And Ellie is a all-conference player, and she will bounce back and be ready to go on Friday. A year ago at home, I think she had 31 against Drake. It just wasn't her night. They do allow you some open threes. I watched the film just about an hour ago, and most of them were really good shots. And Nicole had a couple in and out. Mick had one that went in and out that would have given us the lead. And, you get the lead at home in the fourth quarter against a team on the top of the standings, and we had a great crowd. I think it could have changed things, but it wasn't meant to be. But, it's something that we got to be more consistent. But we're always preaching to our kids, we got to find ways to get, some points down there in the paint. You can't just rely on the 3 ball. Anything else? All right. Well, thank you.